what?
It's time now for My Two Favorite Librarians, brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dale's Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.
Hi, this is My Two Favorite Librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about robots in various media.
I had said books with robots, but apparently, Chantel...
Robot books, no.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to have to watch our B's when we're talking about robots all the time.
Robots. I am going to mention that we are recording this in advance because I am still on vacation.
Are you?
Well, I get back from vacation the day that we're supposed to be doing this, so we're doing this in advance because, I'll probably be sunburnt and tired and not happy to be back at work. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be happy to be back at work? You love work.
I love my job, but I also love laying around on the beach and reading.
I'm just teasing you.
Yeah.
All right, robot books, go.
Most of them are about artificial intelligence trying to kill us.
Yeah, really, we could just end it there.
Yeah, that really sums it up. So the robots have artificial intelligence and they're trying to kill us. That is almost all of the books that I saw. So Robopocalypse is one of my favorites. It's by Daniel Wilson, and it's set 2 decades into the future. And the humans are battling for their survival because an AI computer goes rogue and all of the machines on Earth rebel against their human controllers. So it was like, bread makers and like bread makers rise up against their oppressors. So
like Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
The Stephen King.
Yes, which we are going to also talk about. But Robopocalypse is written in that same style as World War Z, in which it jumps around to different people's points of view, and it's looking back on the battles that they had to try and overcome the robots. There is a sequel called Robogenesis, but I haven't read it. I think that sort of in the end they win, but then in the sequel they find out they didn't actually win. And then the AI...
I hate those books.
...comes back. It's like every Terminator movie. They win.
But they don't really win.
But they never win.
That disturbs me.
There's a movie about robots, Terminator.
I'll get to that.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about Maximum Overdrive then.
Yeah.
Since you brought it up. We watched that movie at Halloween. I had a Halloween movie marathon at my place.
Where we watched terrible, and I'm going to use quotey marks, horror movies, because I don't actually like horror movies.
Yes.
So we watched some super cheesy ones like Nightmare on Elm Street and Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Really known for the AC/DC soundtrack more than anything else.
That soundtrack is fantastic.
Very good.
Yeah.
We talked about this, I feel like, last fall when we were leading up to
doing this.
And I had talked about, I can only remember one scene where like a woman is hanging at her window with a curling iron wrapped around her neck or something. I also would never stick my hand in a garbage disposal.
No, never. Who does that?
Apparently people who aren't afraid enough of machines.
We also watched Silver Bullet in that one. That was another Stephen King, although it has nothing to do with robots. Okay, so Maximum Overdrive is based on a short story called Trucks that was in the book Night Shift by Stephen King. And I remember reading that story, and the story in the book ends very differently than the movie.
Yeah, because I don't know what the premise of the story was, but in the movie there were like asteroids or something passing over that caused something in the atmosphere, and once they were gone, the trucks acted normal again.
Yeah, in the books they don't tell you why the machines have gone crazy. You have no idea. But basically, the humans don't win in the book.
They never do.
Yeah. So in the book, it has a pretty sad,
every book that he writes is a pretty sad ending.
But in the movie, it has a happy
ish ending because the storm passes and the trucks go back to normal and they've gotten past the angry trucks that were circling and
Yeah.
not yet running through the building, which I don't understand why they didn't do that immediately.
Because they were looking for people to pump gas for them. Because trucks can't pump their own gas. They need to build other robots that will pump gas for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the movie is like, what is your expression?
Squeeze cheese onion flavor.
Squeezed cheese onion flavor. It's super cheese. It is like cheese-tacular. Emilio Estevez.
Lisa Simpson.
Oh, right. Yes. The woman who does the voice of Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's with her like newlywed husband. Yeah, that movie is just foolishness. Stephen King says it's really bad. He directed it and wrote the screenplay as well.
And had a brief cameo.
And yeah, he's like, I didn't know what I was doing. And also was battling some addiction problems at the time, so...
We're spending too much time on Maximum Overdrive.
I know, but I love Maximum Overdrive. So, yes, to answer your question before you ask it, this is a Pop Sugar Reading Challenge category.
I figured.
That is why I included it in the list. To fulfill that, I read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I know I've talked about before. It is just a real comfort book for me. I love it a lot. Although I did read earlier this year Warcross by Marie Lu, and there are robots in that book too. But on a nice change of pace, people are trying to kill you in that book. Robots mostly bring you snacks.
Oh, I like that.
Robots that bring you snacks, yeah.
That's kind of like one of my books. One of the books that came up was Gail Carriger's Etiquette and Espionage series, which is kind of steampunk.
Did you read the whole series? Or
I just read the first book.
the first book. Okay.
But I loved in her sort of the original series, which was about Alexis Terabody. There are werewolves, there are vampires, but the monsters are really the humans. It's not the monsters at all. And so, like, they have, in their books, they've got robot butlers who come in and they run on little tracks, and they've got dirigibles, and they've got all kinds of, like, wonderful mechanical...
steampunky things.
Yeah, that make their lives easier and cool.
I want a robot butler.
I should say Etiquette and Espionage is about a young girl that goes to basically spy school, and it takes place in Victorian England. So she goes to this finishing school because she's got sort of this weird talent for always getting in trouble, and then they turn her into this fantastic spy.
Well, then. So you didn't really want to talk about robots that much.
Well, I have Cassandra Clare's prequel series, The Dark Instruments. I think that's what it was called. That's the series. And it was the Clockwork Angel, the Clockwork Prince, and the Clockwork Princess. And the premise for that was the villain was trying to put, like, demon souls into what they called clockwork creatures.
So these are sort of steampunky creatures. When was that series set?
This one was set in, I feel like it was Victorian England as well. So he
Okay.
could make these clockwork creatures, and of course they're like a robot. They can't think, they're just like, they're doing duties, go and open the door, go and get me milk. And he wants to put a soul inside them so they can be like automatons kind of thing. So it was really good. I loved that series.
I've not read that series. Maybe I should pick that up. A lot of the series that I have enjoyed in the past, I kind of had to step away from when everything was locked down, because I like to read a lot of dystopian stuff. And then when you start living in a time when you think maybe it could become a dystopia, it becomes a bit less interesting to read.
And I also mentioned this book a couple of weeks ago, too, and I can't remember why, but the Lunar Chronicle series by Marissa Mayer, which is retelling of...
Cinderella, isn't it?
Well, it's Cinderella. I was trying to... fairy tales. I was going to say of Disney movies, but that's not right. And in Cinder, which is the first book, Cinderella, Cinder, is a robot. And she's working as a mechanic, and the prince comes to get something fixed, and they go on the run together. So it's very interesting.
Last year I read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick.
Okay.
which became the movie Blade Runner. That's what they based Blade Runner on.
I've got that on my movie list.
Did you? And yeah, the book is different than the movie, as it often is, because I don't think that a lot of it would have translated. But it is like they have robots. The robots are basically indistinguishable from people, but they're treated as disposable. And it's like, well, you know, if you can't tell
the difference.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
I've never actually seen Blade Runner.
You haven't seen Blade Runner?
No.
I didn't see the new version.
No.
But, oh yeah, I've seen Blade Runner. It's like super dark.
Yeah, all the things I don't like.
But also shot in a very dark way, like not just a dark story, but reflected in the cinematography is all very muted dark colors.
To make you feel bad.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to robot movies.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so
Terminator.
Terminator was there. Blade Runner was there. Transformers.
Oh yeah, Transformers.
RoboCop.
Oh, it's been so long since I saw RoboCop.
And there was a new RoboCop, but I feel like the old one is probably better. Star Wars.
Oh, yes.
Moving to some kid stuff. One of my favorites, Big Hero 6. Love, love, love.
Never watched it.
Oh, it's so cute. It's so good. My notification on my phone used to be the little sound that he made. It was very cute.
You should do that sound for us.
I don't know if I can. That's kind of what it was, or something like that. And my niece recognized it. She's like,
Why is your phone making that sound?
Another fun one that I love that always makes me cry, The Iron Giant.
Yeah, but you cry at a lot of things.
I know, but it's really sad. So the premise of the movie is there's obviously this robot, and the kid is like in love with it, and the kid befriends it, and
it's not romantic love. It's platonic
Yes.
love.
And he's moved with his mother, and I can't remember if the father has died or if they've gotten a divorce. And of course, I feel like it's set in the 50s or 60s, so they're very paranoid about aliens and Russians and all kinds of terrible things. And he's trying to hide it from all the adults. And of course, that doesn't work out so well. And at the end of the movie, the giant never talks. And the little boy is trying to teach him words. And so at the end, his big thing is he flies up to save everybody. And he says, Superman. And it's like so sad. Because Vin Diesel starred as the Iron Giant and had one line. And it's like the best movie he's ever been in. I love Vin Diesel, but I love the Iron Giant. It's so good. And another great one is WALL-E.
I knew you were going to say WALL-E.
I love WALL-E too.
I've also never watched WALL-E.
Oh, it's really good because it's like a futuristic world where the humans are all so fat and dependent on their machines. Like they're all in like little
How futuristic is that, though?
Well, that is true because they're being fed things, and that it's really good because WALL-E's like this outer space sort of, I can't remember if he's like an asteroid collector, and he meets like Eva, and there's no dialogue between the two robots, and then they end up in this place where they're actual humans, and then the humans sort of revolt, and then they're trying, like they've never moved or never run, or they're all in these little sort of digital worlds where they don't really talk to each other, and it was like, oh, that's terrifying.
And coming.
Yeah. The Matrix.
I love The Matrix.
Yes. And spoiler alert, for those of you who didn't see this movie from the 1970s, The Stepford Wives.
Ah. Now, if you read the book, it is different.
Interesting. I hated that movie. I hated both of them. Those are my robot movies for you. I'm sure there's lots more, but...
So you can borrow movies or books from us. Go onto our catalog, put on a hold. You want to watch Blade Runner? I know we have it. I know we have the new Blade Runner, too.
I think we have most of these movies. I think we may have a Stepford Wives, the new one. Don't get it. I don't know if we have RoboCop. I know...
We had RoboCop, so I don't know if we still have it, but we did.
We should. I'll look and see if we have most. I know we have Blade Runner. I think we have both because I bought both copies when it came out, but they could be gone now.
So I would like to remind people to please do not drop off donations for the library at this time of books or movies. Normally, we are so super happy to get your donations, but we need a lot of space to quarantine the items that are coming in. So every item that people return to us is quarantined for 72 hours. And we don't have space to store any donations right now. And we can't have a book sale. And we don't know when we can have one again. So please do not give us donations of books or movies. However, donations of money, always gratefully accepted. We are a registered charity and we can provide you a tax receipt. Yes?
Yes.
We are open. Advocate Library is offering grab and go. The Forefathers Library in Amherst is open Tuesday through to Saturday. There is a satellite location in Oxford at the Medical Center. It is just offering grab and go. You must call and make an appointment. The Parsborough Library is open on Fridays and Saturdays. Pugwash is offering grab and go, and the Spring Hill Library is open Wednesdays and Thursdays. Check our website and social media. Our hours might change. We are trying now to expand our hours and get ourselves open more. You can also still do borrow by mail. We will mail books, movies, robot movies, jigsaw puzzles, whatever fits into a mailer bag to your house or post office box for free. You just need to give us a call or email us at information@cumberlandpubliclibraries.ca. You can also find this information on our website, which is
www.cumberlandpubliclibraries.ca.
And you can borrow ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, TV shows, movies, and music online from the library for free through Overdrive, Hoopla, or RB Digital. Did I cover everything?
I think so.
Right now, I am reading The Hunger Games.
Oh, you did pick them up.
Yes. So there are some robot-y things in that book, but they're mostly like drones and whatever. It's predominantly people trying to kill each other instead of robots trying to kill you.
Yes.
So a couple months ago, I mentioned I read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. And I wanted to go back and reread the Hunger Games because I read the first book when it first came out in 2008, which is 12 years ago now.
Old.
So, oh man. So I wanted to, because in the prequel, they talk about the Hunger Games is that it's like the 10th or 12th annual Hunger Games. And in the Hunger Games, the first book, it's the 74th annual Hunger Games. So, you know, we're fairly far into the future. So
I guess the governor or whatever he is would still be alive.
the president, in the prequel book, the president is like 17 or 18.
Okay, yeah.
So, and in the Hunger Games book, he's like an old man. And this is like, he's had years to hone his like being a jerk. What are you reading?
So 2 weeks ago, I was reading The Rogue Not Taken by Sarah MacLean.
Right.
And so I am now reading the second book in the series, which is called A Scot in the Dark. And I had read it last year or very early this year, and I'm not actually sure if I finished it. I may have fallen asleep reading it and not actually finished it. I enjoyed it. It was the one.
So are you listening to it on audio?
I'm listening to it on audio, yeah. The heroine in the story is in love with an artist, and she thinks they're going to get married, and they go to this big opening, and she thinks he's going to propose to her, and instead he reveals a naked painting of her, which then ruins her for the entire...
Why would he do that?
Because people are jerks.
Oh, yeah.
And so she is a ward of the Duke, and it's this Scottish Duke. I can't remember, they call him something like the Scottish Menace or something. And he has no interest in being a Duke. And a fortnight is a month, isn't it?
2 weeks.
Is it just 2 weeks? So he was like 29th in line for this dukedom. And because of a series of unfortunate events, they go through like 10 dukes in a fortnight. There was a carriage accident. There was a flu. There was something, and
Shark attack.
Yeah, well, yeah. There ends up, so he ends
I've
up,
never read this book, obviously.
there are no sharks in England times. He ends up being the Duke. He doesn't really want it. And now he's got to go deal with this ward. And she basically wants her dowry to go off and go to France and live her life by herself because she's been ruined. And he's like, no, that's not the way it works. You need to get married and I'm going to find you a husband.
And we obviously know who the husband is going
Exactly.
to be. Next week, we're going to talk about books written by comedians.
Yes, which I've not had very good luck with. Maybe I'll try to listen to, what's Tina Fey's book?
Bossy Pants.
Bossy Pants. I was like, big hands.
That's what the cover looks like. So, yeah. And we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Come join us. Come talk books with us. Come join our group, My Two Favorite Librarians, where we will post some of the lists of things that we have talked about. Or, just tell us what you're reading and what your favorite book is. We love book talk.
Yes, we do.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
My Two Favorite Librarians, brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.